Oh boy, it's that time of the year where in the midst of a durability meta, the bug boy Kha'Zix feels underwhelming to play and as such receives some buffs for his troubles. Call it a tradition, call it a holiday, one thing remains true and it's that I'm about to Kha'Zix all over them. Welcome back guys, how are we doing? I'm back to talk about the Kha'Zix buffs that were recently announced for patch 25.6 and I gotta say, definitely not what I was expecting. So for those that don't know, our passive base damage is increasing from 1416 to 17136. Passive bonus AD ratio is increasing from 40% to 50%, and the E bonus AD ratio is being increased from 20% to 40%. I'm sorry. Am I seeing this right? Oh my god. They actually touched his E. After 10,000 years, they've finally done it. They've actually given E a buff, man. Now this is interesting. Historically, Riot loved balancing Kha'Zix around the strength of his Q, and more recently his armor and W evolve, but man, this changes things, guys. This changes things. So I'm sure we've all had a huge struggle in this current meta, where enemy teams have so much health in their items and runes that it can become extremely difficult to kill people as intended and do what Kha'Zix does properly. The armor nerfs he received a while back make him extremely vulnerable to a lot of champs in the game, as pretty much any AD carry can just look at him and remove half his health. It's rough, man, and you have to play more carefully than ever in order to find success on the champ nowadays. But even if you do that, the problem is that it really didn't matter too much what you did, you just simply did not have the damage necessary to kill someone in a lot of cases. Will that change with these buffs? Well, not quite, but it's definitely going to help, and in my opinion, this is a fantastic step in the right direction, and I'll explain why. But first up, I gotta mention the numbers. I'm not really a math guy, but I did do some numbers on the PvE comparing it to the live servers, and with one item at level 6, you're getting around 14 extra damage for each passive proc as it goes from 70 to 84, whilst your leap will be doing around 13 more damage going from 78 to 91. In a full combo, this would be about a 41 damage increase, assuming that you're proccing a passive at least 2 times. Not too bad at all. At 3 items Ghostblade, Opportunity, and Sorotas, the passive goes from 110 to 134 damage, a 24 damage increase. Leap goes from 98 to 131 damage, a 33 damage increase. Assuming 2 passive procs, this is an extra 81 damage in a leap combo. Not bad at all, man. And if we're talking late game, 5 items, level 16, passive goes from 214 to 259, so a 45 damage increase, and a max rank leap goes from 260 to 315, which is a 55 damage increase. A 2 passive proc combo will net you an extra 145 damage. This is very, very solid, guys. Now yes, these dummies have 0 armor, so we're not taking into account damage reduction, but this is also excluding any form of bonus AD scaling from runes, Infernal Dragon, or Blood Roses. So if you have AD coming from stuff like Conqueror, Absolute Focus, Gathering Storm, or Hubris being active, expect the buffs to go even harder. Overall, extremely respectable buffs, guys, and there's a lot of potential for R-Evolve and E-Evolve to stack up a lot more damage than before. They're obviously not game-breaking buffs, right? But it's definitely nothing to laugh at. And something really good about this buff is that it's a buff to non-isolated damage, with both E and passive having a small bump. It might be just enough to pick up those unisolated kills that you wouldn't have been able to get in the past. I mostly see this being useful in fights where you can get multiple passive procs off, so small, quick, extended fights are going to be slightly better, and the E change is, if I'm honest, kind of funny. I mean, assuming you're playing the game properly and holding your leap when necessary, this buff ain't going to do anything, man. This buff only has an effect when you are jumping in on an enemy with a leap combo, nothing else. So how do we make use of the E buff? Well, the answer you might be thinking about is none other than the legendary E-Evolve. Could this be the return of E-Evolve, guys? Well, maybe. I mean, I think Kha'Zix's leap damage at max rank is actually not too bad, and it's pretty solid when you have E-Evolve, because you can more reliably use your leap to jump in. In fact, I've seen a lot more people talking about Emax second. I've pretty much always done it after putting 2 points in W, but lately I've seen more prominent Kha'Zix players doing it, like Chuyi for example, he's been doing Emax. The lower cooldown is really nice, and the damage should definitely not be underestimated. So having a bit more damage on this ability, I can definitely see Kha'Zix players going for more Emax second builds, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It should be good. It should be good. Regarding the state of Kha'Zix now, I mean, I think he was definitely in need of a buff. He's currently sitting at like a 47% win rate in Emerald to Master, which is pretty crazy. In all of my games, unless I get Hubris stacked and can use it in fights, I really just become completely useless, and it's been a nightmare playing this champ into 6,000 bruises, chasing me around the map every game, and just stat checking me to death. It just sucks so much. So I am welcoming this change very much so, but I don't think he was ever really totally unplayable. I do think if you're a good Kha'Zix player, you can still make him work, but running a traditional full lethality domination assassin playstyle just feels really unrewarding at the moment, and so that's why I've been trying to explore new builds, and I think I found one that feels pretty good and will be even better after the buffs, so I'll be posting that as a video in the near future. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Kha'Zix changes. I think it's really nice that they're bumping up other areas of his kit aside from his Q or W. I think it's overall a step in the right direction for the champ, because if assassins ever become good again, which don't get me wrong is extremely unlikely at this point, I mean Riot makes it very clear they hate assassins. If the meta ever changes to a point where assassins can thrive, these changes are going to be mint. Looking forward to maxing E, evolving E, and just EEEing all over everyone, and I'll do my best to make some more juicy Kha'Zix content. It's quite hard at the moment guys, especially with OC queue times as well, but rest assured, I'm trying. Thank you guys for watching. Here's hoping the buffs do us good. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, all that good shit, and I will see you next time. Catch you later. Bye bye.